Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Health Hub Show, where we always put your health first. We say health is wealth, and as always, I always have a plan for you. This is Nyambura Kamau, Health Hub. But before we proceed, I would like to thank our sponsors for the day. That is DreamWorks Investment Limited Company, an architectural company that gives you the very best design. You dream it, and they give you a reality. Now, going direct to the topic of the day or the show of the day. As you can see on my right is a very beautiful lady. And the uniform is uniforming. Welcome to Uvoro TV Business.
Thank you so much.
Maybe you would tell our viewers out there, what is your name?
My name is Caro Njokinjeru. I'm a volunteer with St. John Ambulance, in charge of training department. And I'm also organizing an event that is a program we're calling Walkathon.
Yes. That is amazing. And you've mentioned about St. John's. Maybe people there have seen St. John's in high school, primary school, maybe by uniform, and they don't understand who is St. John's or what is the work of the St. John's group.
All right. So St. John is a humanitarian organization that bases more on emergency aids or saving lives. We have a motto that is really dear to us at heart. The motto says, "For the faith in service to humanity." So we are there as St. John members to serve the humanity, and we're really enjoying giving back to the community.
So when you're talking about giving back to the community, you talk about maybe first aiding and giving the skills.
Yes, we capacity build the community with first aid skills. And also we are in standby in case there are any emergencies. If you have an event, we are there for coverage, just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case.
So you're the safety department,
of
our
course.
911.
Of course. Yes.
Again, now, can you tell us, you've talked about the first aiding. So what's the importance of first aid if you guys are there then?
It is important to everyone to have the first aid skills because when incidences occur or when an accident occurs, the first few minutes are very important.
They can save a life.
Whatever you do to a person in the first few minutes determines their fate. So if you mishandle the casualty, the survival rate might be negative. But if you handle the casualty with a lot of care and in the right way, then you're sure you're saving a life.
So what are the maybe some of the situations where first aid can save a life? Maybe examples.
For
day-to-day.
In the days-to-day activities, like now when you're traveling, there are these we're calling the RTs, and currently there are so many. So when there's a road accident, if you have the first aid skills, you'll be able to save the victims of the incident in the right way and maybe transfer them to the hospital using the best method. So if an injury requires an ambulance, you'd rather request for an ambulance and stabilize. For instance, if someone has a spinal injury, I usually advise to wait for the ambulance to come so that it can evacuate. Yes, you just stabilize the head of the casualty, advise them not to move, because any slight movement can cause some permanent damage to them.
To the person?
Yes, to that person who is affected. It is very sensitive. If you mishandle slightly, it can cost the life of a casualty, or maybe the casualty might end up being in a wheelchair, and we want to make sure the casualty recovers well.
Yes. With the current accidents happening, I think many of our community members need to understand the importance of first aiding, right?
Yes, it's very important because sometimes we think first aid, we know first aid. But when you ask someone, if someone just faints, what do you do to them? Then you see the response. Then that's when you know, this community, we need to train people. We need to capacity build and let them become competent so that they can promote recovery in the right way.
So, do you think if maybe we cannot get the community to train them or give them the skills needed, it should be maybe we put like a scholarship or a training program in primary schools or high schools?
What St. John has done is we usually have formations that we call divisions, and they're classified with the age group. So we have formations in primary level, that is from 6 years to 11 years, and we call them dolphins. So what we do with them is they train first aid. They have other programs for for it to be also fun. They learn how to save life, and also they learn to be leaders. And when we go to high school, we also have a category that we call cadets. That is between 12 years to 17. And after high school, they are like, what do we do next? So after high school, we have formations in the universities and the links and the colleges that we call the links. So when in those formations, you're able to give back to the community that you are in. So if you're within the institution and you learn the first aid, maybe basic first safety or something, then you'll be able to help the community in case of incidences. You can also share the knowledge that you have. So there's so much to share when it comes to safety. We can prevent the accidents from occurring. We can also help in case the accident occurs.
You know, back in my days, I'm not that old.
I know. I can
I'm
see,
not that
can
old.
tell. Yeah?
So it sometimes convincing your parent back at home, I need to join the St. John's in school, I need to do this, and that, and they think maybe you're not focusing on studying.
On the studies.
Your work is maybe functions, and
course.
all. Maybe
Yes.
is there something you can convince the parents with so that they can accept their children or not give them a hard time in joining the program?
In St. John Ambulance, we have some objectives.
Okay.
So when you're having the members join us, that is within the divisions, we capacity build them in different packages.
Okay.
We capacity build them with the life skills, which are very important, even in their future. We capacity build them to become leaders. Being a leader is not just automatic. They are the skills, they are the qualities of a good leader. So we train them as we empower them. Then we also work on helping them build their skill practically. So it's not more of a theory thing, but we also give them the practical bit. For instance, when we're doing the training, after, we make sure in our calendar of event, there's something we call first aid competitions. So in the first aid competition, these young ones, they come in and they compete in the first aid skills. They have assimilated scenarios, so they build their confidence in that bit. So when they build their confidence out there, if the next incident occurs when they're near, they'll be able to confidently help without the tension. So St. John builds a person holistically. It builds you with the knowledge, it builds you to be a good leader, it builds your confidence, because we've seen some members who join very shy. But when coming out, they're the most confident.
Oh, wow.
Kabisa.
So parents, wajitume wache
Wajitume, give us your kids, they're in safe hands, they learn the skills, and they'll also be the leaders of tomorrow, and they'll be well empowered.
So are the high schools and other schools embracing St. John's in the training?
We have a really positive feedback in high schools. Like now, we're having an activity coming May 3rd, and in that activity, I believe 80% will be our members in the schools.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, so it's
I'm so
very
looking
good.
forward to that. And sitaki kuitaja sana, unajua, when we start digging deep into that, we will literally dig deep. That is why I wanted to check first. With the first aiding, the importance of St. John's, the importance of first aid, such that mtu akiingia kwa ile walk, anajua I am going in for this, I am going in for that, and its importance is that. Maybe you could briefly explain to us, what is this plan you have for us?
For the walk or as a member? For the walk, we have an activity we are calling walkathon. Actually, we are walking, literally walking. We'll be having 5 kilometers walk, and we'll have 10 kilometers walk. Our meeting point will be at the University of Embu. That is where we flag off the event officially. So then we walk. The main agenda for the walk is to fundraise. And the funds that you're going to raise will be used to capacity build the society. That is the vulnerable people and the people who are first at hand when there are incidences. If I give an example, like the border riders, when there's a road traffic accidents, what we call the RTA, those border riders are the first people at hand. So if they have the skills, they'll be able to help the victims in the best way possible, and will be able to save so many lives. So we are working on that. And we have different packages about it. So there's what you benefit with. and is what will benefit the society.
Oh. So basically it ends up going back to the same community.
Yes, it goes back to the community, and we also appreciate you with the package.
Wow, amazing.
Yes.
Well, we are still dwelling on this, but we need umetaja watu wa bodaboda pale. I have a question on watu wa bodaboda.
Yes,
Sijui kama they
please.
should start learning how to do first aid in case anything happens to one of their own or themselves.
Okay.
You never know. Before we get to the answer,
All
let me
right.
ask that as a pending question.
Okay.
We will be going for a short break, so don't move. We need to understand how important is it and what is St. John's planning for us on such a platform or such an occasion. So we will be right back after the short break. Don't move. Again, let me remind you, Uvoro TV Business is here for you to ensure you get every tip at hand. And again, we thank our sponsors for giving us this platform and this opportunity. Don't fail to invest in the right partner. DreamWorks Investment Company is here for you to ensure every design, whether it's interior design, exterior design, anything you need, they are here for you. The contact is below. Just call and they will get to you.